Good morning, ladies. It is Kristen, and it is early here, but I'm getting started because I'm about to head to the library. Well, I'll head to the library in a little while. And I want to be able to upload this at the library where the internet connection is a lot sooner. I've actually been up for a while. I'm really happy because I've been getting up on time pretty much every morning this week, and it really feels good. I know here I am at 31 weeks pregnant and I've finally gotten back. I'm still not getting up quite as early as I got up pre-pregnancy, but like this morning I got up at 5:45 and my goal is to work to 5:30 and then keep that until the baby comes, because that way I can start getting my kids up a little bit earlier and still have time for me. And that's really important to me. So anyways, I feel really good this week. Last week I wasn't feeling as good last week as I am this week, and I think part of it's getting up early. I think part of it too is last week, like I shared, I was really struggling with a lot of constipation, which just sucks. And this week that hasn't been a problem, so I don't know, I can't think that I'm eating all that much differently. I mean, I did a cup or two of magnesium tea, but not regularly. Maybe that was just what my body needed. So anyways, I feel much better. I still feel pretty big. I haven't had a chance to make the belly wrap. I think I talked about wanting to do that last week, or I was thinking about doing that. I actually found fabric, you can see it on top of my pregnancy pillow there, that I need to cut and then sew into a longer wrap. I'll cut it in half. So I'm hoping maybe to do that tomorrow. I don't know that I'll do it tomorrow. It might end up being Sunday, but I'm really hoping to get that done because I would really like to just get a little bit of extra support. If you don't know what belly wrapping is, there's lots of videos on YouTube. You can look it up. So this isn't like belly binding for postpartum. This is wrapping a pregnant belly, just kind of to help give support. And I really want to try it before the fair, which isn't next week, but it's the next week. My kids are running outside to play, so you can probably hear them. Anyways, so yeah, as far as symptoms go, there's been a couple nights where I've had heartburn, which isn't unusual for me to get heartburn at this point in pregnancy. It's uncomfortable, but there's not really anything I can do about it. It definitely seems to be related more to to not eating so well. You know, eating more kind of carb or fast foodish kind of stuff than I ought to. So anyways, I'm feeling really good. You know, I feel like the baby's big. Scott and I, so this week has been a huge eventful week for me. I was at a birth all day earlier in the week that was an incredible birth. The mom had a 12-pound, 2-ounce baby naturally, which, you know, she is a Wonder Woman. And that was a good birth for me to be at. My supervising midwife had to help baby out a little bit just because he was so big. And the mom had some bleeding afterwards that we helped get taken care of. And so it was just a big learning experience for me, and it was just incredible. I actually just got an email from my supervising midwife giving us an update. There were 3 of us on the birth team. So giving us an update, and everything's going really well. So she's going to go back on Friday. She went yesterday. And then I'll go back on Friday to visit the mom again, and I'll probably go on Friday to see them. So anyways, yeah, just a huge baby. I can't imagine a 12-pound baby, and, you know, she is a rock star. The mom is like over the moon happy. So it was a really good experience, but it was really intense. You know, that's a crazy situation. Nobody expected that baby to be so big. And just his placenta was massive too, but super healthy. It was just beautiful. And so anyways, I had been supposed to go to Walmart that day because I was supposed to go into town and do prenatal appointments. And I was going to go to Walmart afterwards because we bought our boys, like our teen boys, a weight set. And I was going to go pick that up because I had it shipped to Walmart. And I was just like, I'm not going to go to Walmart in scrubs and everything that are like covered in amniotic fluid and baby waters and everything. And I was exhausted, and I was just like, I don't want to have to drive into town again. So I asked Scott to just for us to drive into Walmart. I know this is like a long way to get around to what I was saying. But anyways, there's like these ladies at Walmart who are like, oh, you look like you must be due soon, honey. And I'm like, September. I decided I'm just going to say September when people say something like that, because then maybe they'll assume that it's at the beginning of September, which isn't too far away, rather than at the very end of September. But it's like, come on. You know, I realize that I look big, but I don't feel like I look huge. So anyways, I'm feeling good, and I wish people wouldn't make comments like that, but at the same time, you just have to kind of shrug it off and realize on baby number 8, I'm definitely bigger than I was with number 1, or I'm probably about the size now that I was at term with baby number 1. So anyways, I've been having lots and lots of really vivid dreams, and I've been able to remember them. I had a dream that I texted my midwife after the baby came, and I was like, oh, by the way, the baby's here. And it's like, that's just so weird. It's like, for one, even if she missed the birth, which isn't out of the realm of possibilities, we've had the midwife miss 2 babies, but I hope she doesn't. But, you know, I would be, you know, we'd be calling her. We wouldn't be just like casually texting her. So anyways, that one was really weird. I had a dream that the baby was here, and actually a little bit older, because the baby was old enough like for me to hold on my arm, and baby was, you know, holding baby's self up, and I knew that the baby was a boy or a girl in that dream, which I haven't had a dream in a long time that I knew that the baby was a boy or a girl. I'm not going to say, so you guys have to wait in suspense, but we'll see if that dream was accurate or not. It was a good dream. We were going somewhere that I don't remember where. Anyways, and then just like lots of other weird, random, crazy dreams. There was one that I was with my parents, and we were at some event, and my mom right now is in an extended rehab facility, but she was like out. She was still in a wheelchair. She had a stroke a little over a year ago, but she's actually been having movement coming back. So in my dream, I should actually probably tell her about this dream. She had a lot more movement come back. So she still had one of those little lightweight wheelchairs to help when she was tired, but she was at the point where she could kind of get up and move around really easily. She was still working up from it, which is more than she's at right now. She's just starting to have movement come back, but we're all hopeful that that will continue as her brain continues to rewire. So that was a cool dream. Yeah, and so just lots of dreams, some that were not as happy dreams, like my mind working things out, or I don't know. One that was like about political issues, and it's like, no thanks, there's enough of that in waking life. I don't need to sort that out in my dreams. But so yeah, so I'm feeling really good, and definitely recharged from the birth, even a birth where it's really intense, and you're really working like, oh my gosh, they had a king size bed. I don't know, I'm gonna say this, ladies, and y'all are gonna like me, but I'm like, after that birth, I'm like, people who are planning a home birth should not be allowed to have king size beds. At least not if one of their attendants is 31 weeks pregnant, because climbing on and off that bed a million times after that birth and postpartum and everything, it's like, oh, I got my workout for that day. I was mad at my Fitbit because it didn't show a lot of steps, because I really wasn't stepping a lot, but I climbed up and down off that bed so many times. I was like, I gotta work out. You should have at least registered that day as an entire day of exercise. Like while we were waiting, while she was laboring, not so much, it was more sitting. But once the baby came, and then there was just so much going on, so much hustle and bustle and everything, and just on and off the bed, on and off the bed, on and off the bed, and then helping her nurse get going with nursing and everything, just on and off the bed, on and off the bed. It was just like, oh, I need to sit down. My midwife was like, go home, take a shower, and lay down, Kristen. So anyways, yes, so I do feel really good, and it's always nice, to go to a good birth. And I actually had another birth, so I've had 2 births since I filmed the video last week, and I had 3 moms who I was waiting for before I was off call. So one mom went a few days before the mom that just had her baby, so I've had 2 births in the last week. And the 3rd mom that I was on for also had her baby. She had her baby at the same time as the 2nd mom, but I was already at the 2nd mom's. And they needed, I was needed there more. So I missed one of my births, which is that's a real bummer for me, because I was really excited, because I was going to have The way that I'm doing my midwifery training, I have to count by the numbers. So it's experience, but it's also numbers. And before I can serve as primary midwife under supervision, meaning I'm the midwife making the decisions and everything, but my senior midwife, who's also my midwife personally, she's there too. So, if I need help or if something's going on and she needs to step in and take over, she's there. So, she's the supervising midwife. But I need to have 20 births in what's called phase 2 before I can get to phase 3, which is when I can start serving as the primary midwife. And I was hoping to have 17 births before I went off call, but now I only have 15 because this one mom had her baby without me there, which, that's fine. And then one other mom has a congenital disorder, and we've decided with her specialist that it's better for her to birth in the hospital. There's a possibility that that I might be able to assist her in the hospital, like as a doula, which I need 2 hospital births to complete training as a home birth midwife. So that would be good, but it still won't count as one of my numbers for the primary, but it would count as we have to observe at least 2 planned hospital births. And since I'm not a doula, doulas who are training to be midwives tend to get that experience pretty easily because they get hired by moms planning a hospital birth. But I'm not also a doula because I could not juggle everything else I do and be a doula and be a student midwife. I just couldn't do it. But this mom, because she's in our care, but we haven't decided yet which one of us is going to do that. And I'm thinking it probably won't be me because the mom is due next month. And that's getting pretty close to my baby's birth. I try to kind of guard, I don't know how to say it, like guard my psyche or my emotional state and everything, especially as I get close to the birth, because I want to just be focusing on like picturing a positive birth outcome and getting myself in the right mental space, so to speak. And a hospital birth is not where I want, it's not what I want. And I just worry too, this is a first time mom. She's going in there with a pre-existing medical condition, so she's really going to have to advocate for herself. And, there's a chance she could get bullied, and it might be better if there's somebody who might not get quite so emotional about that as me. And also, again, just kind of protecting myself as I prepare for my baby's birth. I'm relieved to be off call because I'm pretty officially off call now. We don't have any more moms due except that one mom next month until September when there's a bunch of moms due. So I want my midwife to be able to be at my birth, so no other moms go into labor when I'm in labor, please. But I think that's one of the reasons why I'm feeling really good now too, even though I'm disappointed I didn't get quite the number of births. I'm feeling really good to be off call because that means that I'm really free to start thinking about my own baby's birth. And once we get through the fair, which isn't next week but the week after, then I'll feel really good because that's a huge deal. I think it requires more planning and logistics than planning for my baby's birth, which is ridiculous. But, I'm feeling better about the fair. We've got the fair schedule. We had to get a new garden cart, so we're just going to kind of be based out of the garden cart. I'll probably talk about this more next week. I'm sorry if it bores y'all. But anyways, I've got the food planned out. I'll go grocery shopping next week to get all the food for fair. We're just working out all the logistics. I'm like breathing through it. I've got to buy some dress clothes for my little ones. And, it'll go how it goes. I haven't been able to be out there with my 2 little ones practicing with them and their goats as much as I'd like to. So, it'll go how it goes. But I have had them practicing some on their own, and their older siblings have helped some. And then the older kids will do what they do. If, I feel like they haven't practiced as much as they should, but we'll see how they do in the show ring. So that's, that's them, and they're looking forward to it. Everybody's a little disappointed because we didn't get a camper to be able to camp at the fairgrounds, which means it's not quite as fun for the older kids when we don't camp because there's some things that we miss. Like there's a dance and a talent show, and just being able to go in the evenings to the Midway where they have all the rides and everything set up. They can't do that really so much when we're not staying there. So they're disappointed, and I feel bad for that because that would have been a good experience for them. But I think for me, it might end up being better because I'll come home and sleep in my own bed every night. We'll be tired. We have to get up early and we have to go early and and we're there all day, but I think it'll be okay. The main thing that I'm thinking about is making sure that I have snacks and that there's water everywhere at the fairgrounds. There's water spigots everywhere, but making sure that we're, really staying hydrated is the important thing. I'm hoping to get some reading done because the way things are spaced, you have to be there all day, but there's not stuff going on all day. So I'm hoping actually to get some of my academics done. Another thing is now that I'm not on call for births, I will still go in and do appointments once a week, but it's just easier to get academic work done. So I'm really hoping to plow through some of my academics up till the baby's born. All of my assignments are pretty easy assignments. Like there's none that involve worrying about a lot of emergencies or anything. I have a history assignment to finish up and a nutrition assignment. It's just mostly basics. So it's nothing worrisome that I wouldn't want to be focusing on before the birth. And then after the baby comes, I'll take some time off, but then hopefully can get back into academics so that while I'm on maternity leave, at least I can move through a lot of my course modules, even though I won't be attending births. And after the baby comes, I won't attend appointments for a while either. So anyways, so I'm definitely starting to think a bit more about the birth. We've got, I got back into organizing more over the past week, which was something I'd felt bad about. We still haven't gotten back out to the pole barn, but the house, I got back to the house. My closet is like way cleaner right now, which makes me so happy. We ended up switching car seats around in the van last week, which was horrible. I hate changing car seats around, and especially in a 12-passenger van. It's horrible. But we needed to do it. So anyways, I also have the baby seat out. It's over there, which is why I keep pointing. I don't think you can see it. But the baby seat for the big van, that's one that's been used by 2 kids already because we got it when Corwin was born, and he's 4. So I washed the cover for that one and hung it out on the line and everything. And, it doesn't look brand new, but it looks pretty good. I'm pleased with how well the cover washed out because it was... it's kind of dirty from dirty baby feet and things like that. So that one is a Britex or Britex, however you want to say it, and it's a baby seat. And then I still want to get another car seat. I don't remember which one. It's a Graco, but it's on the registry, so I don't have to remember it. I can just go look. Scott was talking about he'd want kind of a smaller seat, which means I should maybe look at a Chico Key Fit, which I like the Graco seat better for me, but this one would be for the smaller van, and it's actually the seat the baby will end up using a lot more, because that's the seat that, if I go somewhere now, I usually don't go in the big van. I don't take everybody. So we go in, when we say the big van, that's our 12-passenger van, and then the little van is just a minivan. It's a Dodge Caravan. So, I don't know. I'm torn. Because I'm probably, if I was going to go, like I said, with my last pregnancy, I went to Grand Rapids and just visited the baby stores. If I was going to do that again, I would just wait and go, because at like Babies R Us and Bye Bye Baby, you can look at all the car seats in the store and compare them. But I'm probably not going to do that this time. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'll see how I feel after the fair. I have so much that I need to do after the fair. But if I do decide to take a day, I'll probably compare them. And I know both are good seats. I guess it's because my babies have always either ridden in Graco seats or the Britax seats. So I haven't ever had a Chico, but I know lots of people like it, and it's a little bit of a smaller seat. And again, that way it takes up less room in the van, which is what Scott kind of wants. But again, the baby's going to be riding in this, and when I start going to births again, the baby will go to births with me for a while, and appointments and everything. So the baby's going to be in the car, and I have to get a new seat. We do have a baby seat for that car, but we got it when Galen was born, so it's way old. We need a new one. For that one. And this one, the Britax one, is way too big, and it's just a pain to transfer back and forth, so we'll get a different. We could get a base, but it's huge. So it's better to have a little bit of a smaller form factor seat. And I'm almost at 20 minutes here, so I did want to show you. I know I said I usually only get like one new thing for the baby, but I did get two for the baby just because I couldn't resist. So some of y'all may have heard of Indie Birth. Marin and Margot are the founders of Indie Birth, and it's just a really cool, they do so much. You know, they're midwives, and so you can actually have your baby with Indie Birth if you live in Duluth. Is it Minnesota? I can't remember if it's in Minnesota or if it's in Wisconsin. It's one of those, but it's Duluth. Or if you're in the Sedona, Arizona region, so they're there. But also, they have their own online childbirth class. So I have an online childbirth class. So technically we're competitors, but I love them, so it's okay. And then also, but they also have a midwifery school, and they do lots of midwifery workshops and everything like that, which is why I love them. Because their workshops are great. But anyways, they decided to make little onesies, and I just had to get one. So it says Indie Birth Baby, and it's so cute. And it's kind of funny because, like, I mean, the Indie Birth logo has always been orange, but I've been seeing so much orange everywhere, and then, you know, it's orange. So anyways, that's really cute, and you can check them out at indiebirth.com if you're interested in more from them. Yeah, so just a good week this week. I'm feeling really good, and I'm looking forward to the next week and just being off call and kind of getting a routine down, doing homeschool planning. I'm really enjoying that. Looking through, I think I mentioned the survey that I did last week. I did a survey of my list in a big natural birth group on Facebook, and I got almost 200 responses. So I've been going through those, and that's been a lot of fun. And, you know, just so much going on, and I'm looking forward to the next week. I don't know how much I can say I'm looking forward to Fair Week. I am, but I'm not. So it's mixed emotions there, but I'll talk more about that next week. For this week, I will go ahead and finish up. Let me show you my belly real quick before I forget, and then I'll talk to you next week. Okay. So belly's, I mean, it's definitely poking out. I guess I feel like because it's low, you know, I could suck it in a bit. It still looks pretty big, though, to me, for a 31-week belly. I think it's just because I'm poking out so much. And, like, if I can do the belly support, it will wrap and kind of help support, which I can't do right now. I'm actually having a Braxton Hicks contraction right now, so I'm not going to mess with it too much. But there's the belly. Oh, baby. Baby's mostly had baby's back here on this side, but does still flip sometimes to this side. So that's my belly. And with that, I will talk to you ladies next week.